Do you think that WWE TKO should squeeze the consumer for even more money? Do you think that they are not spreading out the PLEs on enough platforms in the United States? Well, there are some people who actually do, apparently, because I did a video just like 2 or 3 days ago where I addressed that I think that TKO is hurting the consumer and they're just not being cool, and it is not right for the things that they are doing and just outpricing the fans. But while most people did agree, there were some who thought that as a business, TKO was acting responsibly and this was the right thing to do for TKO. Dear God, is this guy a communist? No, I love America. Love America. But I do know, and I think we can all agree, that the American system has some loopholes, and in those loopholes you get just some greedy fat cats like Big Daddy TKO just squeezing that customer, and I love it when you peasants defend us. So I thought, you know what, let's address it. Let's give the other side a chance to talk. So we're gonna listen to reasons why I guess as fans we should be charged more. Yeah, you know what? Every opinion is welcome. So let's hear some other opinions. But first, if you want to win this belt right here, all you got to do is comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell, ding ding ding, notification. I'm trying to quit the day job. It's a replica, not a toy. All right, let's see why we should be charged more. Benny Hinn says, so you said it best. They're a business. If you have a 401k, chances are you have them in your portfolio. Going to any event is a luxury. Are most people upset they can't afford to go to the Super Bowl? Nah. Why? It has become what it is so the business can make more money. Can't hate them for doing what they're supposed to do. Yes, I can. Watch me. I hate you, TKO. I hate you. Like, with every part, every fiber of my being, I hate you, TKO. See? Yeah, I guess I can hate TKO for trying to make more money. I actually believe in this thing called responsible capitalism. So, straight up, I'm a capitalist. I love the system that is in the United States. I'm not going to make any bones about it. That said, I also believe in responsible capitalism. I don't think that it is a company's job to completely destroy anything in its path for the almighty dollar. I actually believe that it is a give and take relationship with the consumer. It is the company responsibility to give the consumer the best product available and to do it at a reasonable price. And I believe that it is the consumer's responsibility to then give their hard-earned money to the company because the company is doing it at a reasonable price. I work in the restaurant business. That is my day job that I'm actively trying to quit. And I fully believe that if I say I'm going to give you a burger, then that needs to be the best possible burger that I can give. And I don't believe that I should be charging $100 for that burger because I don't think it's worth $100. Oh, but what if someone's willing to pay $100? I still don't think I should be charging that much money for it. I really, honestly don't. I believe that people should be charged a fair price, period. That's what I believe. And I don't think that the Super Bowl is fair. I don't think the Super Bowl is honestly fair to the people who watch the games, who show up to the games every single Sunday. Yeah, maybe people have gotten used to it and they no longer complain, but just because you're used to, I don't know, if I had a hunchback, if I had a giant hump on my back, if I got used to it, doesn't mean I'd be happy about it. I would still be like, oh God, I got this giant hump on my back. It looks disgusting. No offense to the humpbacks out there, but like for real, like just getting used to, because you're used to something doesn't mean that it's right. All right? I don't know when we fully bought into this idea that a corporation should just do everything it can to squeeze out every penny possible. No, I don't believe that. You know what? There are companies out there who will literally throw toxic waste into water supplies and then pay a fine. Right? They'll pay a fine because it's cheaper for them to just pay the fine than it is to get rid of the waste responsibly. Oh, well, that company right there is doing everything it can to make money. So it's right? Because that's what they're supposed to do. They have an obligation to their shareholders to make more money. So who cares if the environment gets hurt because they are paying the fine, therefore everything's good, right? And the company itself is saving money and they're in somebody's 401k. No. It's the responsible thing for that company to do is to not put the chemicals in the ocean. And the responsible thing for TKO to do is to not outprice the fans. And they already had a model that they could just judge things off of. Vince McMahon. The new president of TKO literally says, well, Vince McMahon was not charging as much as he could have. I'm pretty confident that Vince McMahon was doing all right for himself in the money department. So, being that Vince was making money, the model was already there. TKO could have just kept that model of a family-friendly budget for the consumer. But no, they got to make every dollar. They got to make every dollar. And somehow, some way, we bought into this idea that it's okay for the consumer to get screwed because the corporation has to make more money. They have to make more money. They have to profit. And you do realize that corporations, when they say they are not making a profit, it's not necessarily they're not making a profit. It means they are not making more money than they made last year. So they can make a profit and still feel and say that they are losing money. No, you're not losing money. You're just not making as much as you did last year. You're not making more than you did last year. So there's some economics for you. Avila says, and I thought this was a troll, but they're being serious. I like that prices are going up. It makes being rich more of a reward. I'm sorry, but that's the honest truth. You can't expect everyone to be at WrestleMania. Leave it to the elite to go to such events. Think about it. You want it? Work harder, heart. And I wow. I did respond. And I said, I respect your honesty, but wow, we are so far apart in how we think. Thank you for the comment, and we will agree to disagree. And then, they actually responded, let's say we live in this la-la land where the tickets are $40 a pop. What do you think would happen? Well, honestly, I never said they need to be $40 a pop. And I just explained that Vince McMahon was doing just fine at the prices that he was setting. So nothing really needed to change for them to make money. Yeah, you raise prices with inflation, but there's a difference between raising ticket prices 8% to match inflation or 800%. There's a big difference, and I just cannot agree with you. The rich don't deserve everything, my friend. And another thing that I forgot to mention that I feel a company is responsible for is to literally be loyal to your fan base, just like your fan base is loyal to you. All right. So the wrestling fans have been super, super loyal. The base of wrestling fans have been super, super loyal through good times like the Attitude Era and bad times like the steroid trial and Chris Benoit. All right. We've been loyal. So it's not now let's turn around because we're a success and just completely just take a dump on our fan base. I just don't agree with that. And you say I'm living in La La Land. I don't know what kind of land you're living in. Where's the compassion even? Where's the compassion? You do know that there are millionaires and billionaires who actually don't feel the need to completely bleed a stone dry. Arizona iced tea is a perfect example. Arizona iced tea is a drink that was 99 cents when I was in high school. I'm 45 years old, so it's been a minute. And guess what? I could go to the store right now and buy Arizona iced tea for 99 cents. That dude is rich. That dude is rich. And he has literally said that, you know what? We found a way to not raise the prices. People are like, they've had enough. All right? People are going through enough. So it's like, it's all right. It's all right to make money and make sure that you are loyal to your customer base. So I'm sorry, yeah, not everybody can go to WrestleMania, but I do believe that everybody should have the opportunity to go to WrestleMania to pay a fair price. So I don't know. It's like, oh man, I honestly am just flabbergasted by your comment. At least the other people have this mindset that a business is supposed to be corrupt, but you are heard. For the record, I'm not rich shaming people too. Hey, you made your money, good for you. As long as you didn't do it by stepping on the backs of other people, I'm more than happy for your success. One day I hope to be rich like you. Highly doubt it. If you want to spend your money to go to a WWE ticket, that's your money to spend. Now, I would recommend maybe not doing it because it just encourages WWE TKO to keep the ticket sales high, but again, that's not on you. That's on TKO. So all my hate, not directed at you or green shirt guy. It's all at TKO. Don't feel bad about spending your money. I'm not gonna read this one's name because I don't think he was actually in favor of TKO, but I think he had given up on WWE in general. And the comment was, WWE is nothing more than a reflection of the world. Always has been. So I read that comment like, you know, I'm not mad, I'm not happy, I'm not nothing, because WWE has always been this evil empire. So I don't think they were trying to be like, you know, get over it. Or maybe they were saying like get over it, but not get over it in the sense of TKO should be like this. It's like get over it. It's always been like this. All my reply was, does it make it less disgusting? And I'm not going to sit here and say that Vince McMahon was like a saint, though in this situation, when it comes to family-friendly pricing, he was with the tickets. But, you know, Vince started this whole thing. He started the ball rolling. He could have sold to Stephanie McMahon. He could have. Like, I do believe that if Stephanie and Triple H were the ones in power right now, they didn't have to answer to anybody, that, you know, we wouldn't be dealing with a lot of crap that we are dealing with right now. But no, Vince McMahon allowed his personal life to topple him, and then he got mad at everybody around him, and he sold the soul of WWE. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna be blaming TKO and stuff, and I'll probably even talk positive of Vince McMahon, but make no mistake about it, this was what we're dealing with right now is because Vince decided to sell. And he had every right. He had every right to sell the WWE. But still, man, I'm telling you, Vince, your legacy is gone now. Your legacy is gone. And is it worth it? Like, how many billions of dollars did you really need at 80 years old, dude? You know, you're gonna be on a list of the top 500 people for what, a year or two, and then poof, gone. WWE could have been your legacy. WWE could have been Walt Disney of wrestling, but now it's just like you're just gonna be a footnote eventually, and it's like, oh man, Vince McMahon. Man, Vince McMahon, like if you would have just gave it to people who were responsible and not people who were just going to throw every advertisement they could on your wrestling ring. Mike Savoy 116 says the problem is TKO. The only obligation is to their shareholders. Unfortunately, the fans get screwed over. So I know you're not saying you are happy with WWE outpricing fans. I could tell by how you worded everything because you said the fans are getting screwed. But I still disagree with your assumption that a company's sole responsibility responsibility, TKO's sole responsibility is to the shareholder. I don't agree with that. I actually think a company's responsibility is to its consumer. They want the consumer to both be happy and spend money, and then that will translate into record profits, which will then go into the shareholders' coffers. Look at Marvel. Marvel for a long time was fan service, fan service, fan service. And that then raised the product up high and the shareholders got a lot of money. But eventually they started cutting corners, they started diluting the product, they started just doing way, way too much. And yeah, the shareholders were still getting money. In the long run, it hurt the customers, the fan base, and the fan base eventually turned. Yeah, there's still people giving the money, but not as much, not since Endgame. If Disney would have just kept trying to make the fans super happy and doing whatever they could to make the fans happy, the shareholders wouldn't be in this situation right now. That's what TKO is doing right now. Yeah, maybe the shareholders are making a lot of money right now, but what's going to happen after Endgame? Metal Alex says, it's a business. Stop whining. If you was on TKO, you would be the same. Well, that's one way to say you, Alex, would sell out your morals. Matthew Colton says, it isn't Triple H's fault. It is TKO. You can't sit in front row anymore at a Raw show. And then Stugat says, everyone knows it's TKO, so why is Triple H always in the thumbnail? Ain't no way he has anything to do, any say in the ticket pricing. Well, I mean, Triple H is the figurehead of WWE. Like, he just is. They roll him out for everything. Nobody really knows what Nick Khan looks like. I mean, you and I know, maybe, but most people don't know Nick Khan, and most people even don't know the president of TKO. So Triple H is the face of WWE. That's why he's to blame. But I will say this, I think that he kind of is, at this point, I think he's siding with TKO on certain things, because if you listen to the language he uses, and you could say all day long, oh, well, he has to speak good of his company. I agree. He does have to speak good of his company because he's paid by his company. So I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with the rhetoric he uses where he says that fans on the internet, that we don't matter, that it's only the butts in the seats that matter. Triple H does actively downplay a large portion of his fan base. Yeah, maybe, you know what, maybe we're only 10%. Maybe the internet is only 10% of the WWE fan base, but that 10%, he actively puts us down and insults us. But I think the internet community is actually bigger than 10%. I really do. Like, they love to tout their social media impressions, but in all reality, those social media impressions don't happen if the internet community isn't bigger than that most people think it is. End of the day, yes, Triple H might not be the one pricing the tickets, but he is the one putting down fans who aren't buying those tickets because they don't matter. Only the butts in the seats matter. So on some levels, you're right. Triple H, he is unfairly put on the thumbnails. And then on some levels, it's justified. Outlaw Jones official music says, just don't buy the crap. They're not bleeding you for something you don't need. This ain't water, it's wrestling. Just don't go. Don't buy nothing. No merch, no tickets. That sounds like a reasonable argument. It really does. But I don't agree with it. Again, I just don't agree with the concept of WWE being supported all this time by fans just for WWE to turn its back. For WWE to turn its back and just say, screw it, now we're only going after rich people. Let's say there's a married couple, right? Okay, so one spouse pays for the other spouse to go to college. They pay for them to get their dream job, everything, right? And so that person, the spouse, goes to college, gets their dream job. They're starting to make a lot of money. And then they just turn around and divorce that person. And they do everything in their power to, like, I don't know, they get a really good lawyer. They do everything in their power to give this person as little as possible. But they're the ones that got them there. And that's how I feel right now. I feel that we are the fan base, we the fans have got WWE to this point of just billions of dollars, and now they're turning around and just divorcing us and not caring. I just don't agree with that mentality. You are right. I don't have to buy a WWE ticket. I can straight up just walk away. But it's just not right. It's just not right. Sometimes things can be legal and not right at the same time. Yeah, the WWE product is not water, but like I have defended WWE. I've spent my money on WWE. I have invested in WWE. I have had a give and take relationship with WWE for a very long time, and I've gave, and I do expect for WWE to reciprocate on this, like, you know, this agreement of the consumer and the corporate entity. Kaz Dan says, or how about y'all just support other wrestling companies? I do agree with that. You should support other wrestling companies. AEW is more important than ever, but I'm not going to wave the white flag just yet. I am going to fight for the soul of the company that I do love. But let's hedge our bets and please people, go support AEW. And Greg Money says, you are being so misleading. I'm going to have Netflix, Peacock, and YouTube TV anyways with the programs me and my family like. The only addition to is ESPN Plus, but that's something I would probably get anyways with some of the sports options on there. So really, at most, $30 a month is the most I'm spending, but probably would get that anyways. Also, all sporting events cost. They used to say that NFL was ruined because of ticket prices. Now they are doing the biggest thing going. They are the biggest thing going. You always find an audience to adjust, even if the audience isn't you. Okay, well, one of the issues I have here is that you find the audience to adjust even if it isn't you. So basically you say that you will outprice your audience. Okay, they can't afford it? Don't worry, those guys can. The audience is adjusting by leaving your fan base in the dust. And you can afford Netflix, Peacock, YouTube TV, and ESPN Plus. I'm very happy for you that you have been blessed with a life and money that you can afford that stuff. Maybe you're not rich, but you are well off. You are well off if you can afford that many forms of entertainment. Just because you can doesn't mean everybody else can. It just doesn't. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. All those networks that you have and stuff, if it wasn't for WWE, I would have none of my subscriptions. Straight up, none of my subscriptions. The only subscription I would have is Disney Plus. That's it, because I really like comic books. Marvel. The Marvel Universe is why I would have Disney Plus. I do really like the animated movies, and I used to really like Star Wars. Now Star Wars is hit or miss, depending on who's writing and directing it. But, like, for real, Disney Plus is the only thing I would have, but I would not have Peacock, I would not have YouTube TV, I would not have Netflix, and I would not have ESPN Plus. So for you, that's great. But I don't make these videos necessarily for you. I make these videos for you and everybody else. So just because you are well off in the money department, which I'm very happy for you, doesn't mean other people are. There's a ton of people who cannot afford all of these things. And I think that it is wrong for TKO to outprice people and families. There's multiple reasons. We could go into the logistics of, well, you know, if you're not pricing so families can go together, that means these little kids aren't going to fall in love with WWE, and eventually that is going to bite you in the butt. So there is a long-term business-minded strategy to actually allowing it to be affordable for kids. Or we could just say the decent human thing is to be affordable for kids, because it's just a decent thing to do. Yeah, just because you can afford everything doesn't mean everybody else can afford everything. And I'm trying to look at the big picture. Very happy you can, but it's not fair. And again, maybe it's legal, but it's not cool. It's not cool. And I don't know what to tell you. You are bought into a system that is exploiting you, and you're more than welcome to your opinion. I probably lost about 5 or 6 subscribers here. All right, boys. All right, girls. Thank you very much for your time. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think it's a good thing like these people do, that TKO was charging more? Or do you think it's a bad thing like I do? Have a good day.